A tragic day on the Eastern Shore. Mass shooting is how it's been described here. Leaves 2 dead and 3 injured in Northampton County. Deputies say the suspect was also injured and taken into custody. And we're going off of 13newsnow.com web article reporting here for the 2 people that have passed and the 3 others injured. Following a shooting across multiple scenes this morning on the Eastern Shore. And again, the suspect in custody. This is according to Northampton County Sheriff David Doughty, who we will actually hear from very briefly. Officials first received a call for shots fired around 5 o'clock a.m. on Randall Circle. That then progressed, obviously, into a much larger situation when 2 deputies arrived on the scene and met an individual that was armed with a rifle. The sheriff said both deputies' vehicles were shot, and the suspect then fled the scene. Now, this is taking us down the path of the entire incident, which I do believe Sheriff Doughty will actually say in much, much more detailed terms during the interview that we're about to play for you. So I will halt our reporting there. We'll give more background afterwards if we need to. For now, we're going to listen in on the sheriff. This is courtesy of reporter Layla Cox, who was on this story today and interviewed the sheriff a short time ago. Let's listen in after a deadly day in the Eastern Shore this morning.
Report of gunfire just before 5:30 this morning, sir?
So our office received the call around 5 a.m. for shots fired. It was in the Randall Circle area of Northampton County, which is near Nassauwattucks. When 2 deputies arrived on the scene, they met an individual that was armed with a rifle. Both of those vehicles were shot by the subject. He left that scene and went to this scene here where it's behind me, and we got several individuals that have been shot here as well. And when the officers got here, they encountered him as well, still armed with the weapon, firing. And when they encountered him, they actually engaged him with gunfire, and he was injured and he was taken into custody. First aid was provided to him, and like I said, we've got several individuals that are being treated at the hospital now.
All right, and although you can't say the extent of their injuries, are they expected to recover from their injuries, sir?
So we have a total of 5 people that were injured, not counting the suspect. 2 of those individuals are deceased at this time, and the other 3 are receiving treatment. I'm not sure about their condition at this point right now.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. And like you said, so this is just the second. There are 3 separate crime scenes. Could you at least talk to what the other 2 crime scenes are before we head there?
So the other 2 crime scenes, like I said, it's on Randall Circle there in Nassauwattucks. Not sure of the relation with that victim there, but that was one of the victims that was deceased. And at the other location, it's on Seaside Road in Nassauwattucks, that victim there was deceased, and that was a relative of the suspect.
Thank you so much. My last question for you, Sheriff. Are you guys conducting this investigation? Will this be a joint investigation with Virginia State Police? Obviously, we've seen them. They've been here all morning canvassing this area, of course, with K-9s as well. So are you guys under the assumption that it's spread across through these different homes, or is this just kind of the area where it happened?
So this area is where the officers engaged the suspect. So that's why they're processing, but we got the state police assisting us as well as the Accomack County Sheriff's Office processing the 3 crime scenes.
All right, and what would your message be to the community? Obviously, like you said, not the best way to start the work week, but just reassuring them that there's no active threat to the community anymore, and that it's really all hands on deck with local and state officials as this investigation continues.
So other than the locations, the 3 locations where we are, this was an isolated incident, and the suspect was the only one involved, so there is no danger to the community at this time.
And did you deem this earlier? I read an article, so correct me if I'm wrong, that you considered this as an active shooter situation earlier today. Talk me kind of through that.
So with the 3 locations, obviously we're still trying to put things together with the investigations, but I mean, there was active shooting going on when the deputies arrived on the 2 scenes, up in the one in Randall Circle and the one here.
Thank you so much. Anything else that you'd like to share, Sheriff?
No, we're just, like I say, we're still investigating, and we just request anybody that has any information regarding this to contact Northampton County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so that is Layla Cox interviewing the Sheriff Doughty on the Eastern Shore following this morning's shooting. Again, 5 people injured, not including the suspect, 2 dead after this shooting. And contact the Northampton County Sheriff's Office if you know anything that could help with this investigation, an investigation that is ongoing as we speak. And there will be a lot more reporting to come on this particular story in our shows on 13 News Now later today. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. more information from Layla Cox, as she is boots on the ground on the Eastern Shore, working this story as we speak, looking to find as much information as possible. For the time being, impossible not to think of the families of those who were involved in this shooting. Now,